Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Talking Cardboard. My name is Cory, and as always, if you enjoy the content you see here on the channel, please consider subscribing. We really do appreciate it. On today's video, I am reviewing the board game Maglev Metro. Let's get started. Alright, and we've got Maglev Metro here, a brand new game to the scene by Bezier Games designer Ted Alspach. I do enjoy a lot of his other games as well, but this one just I got really excited about before picking it up. It is a 1 to 4 player game, plays in about 90 minutes. The reason why I was excited to get this game is I do tend to like pick up and deliver style games where you're getting points by picking up things and delivering them to associated places on the board, and this game has a lot of those elements in it. I would say the majority of the game is kind of a pick up and deliver style mixed in with kind of a puzzle aspect with your own player board. It's really cool. It's kind of set in the I wouldn't say the far future, but kind of the near future, where you've got these different underground trains or subways that, like the name states, Maglev, it stands for magnetic levitation. So in the near future, there are actually trains, or I believe there might be some trains out there now that run off of this system. But in this game, you've got robots that are helping run the trains on a magnetic levitation style system. Everybody each has their own player board that they are playing off of to move their train around the map. You are building stations, you're trying to pick up robots and deliver them to associated stations. You're trying to pick up passengers and deliver the passengers to where they're looking to get to. And all in the while, as you are delivering these robots or passengers, as soon as they get delivered, you get to place them onto your player board to make your actions better and better. Like I said, the player board is split into many different actions that you can do on your turn. At the start of the game, everybody can only do up to 2 actions on your turn though. So it's very tight, very difficult to try to manage those 2 actions that you get on each of your turns. The actions can be anywhere from moving your train around, to picking up robots or passengers, to increasing your capacity that your train can hold, to delivering the passengers or the robots to a station, allowing yourself to actually build out stations, or unlocking different types of stations that you can build, to everything from those normal style actions to actually increasing the amount of victory points you get for particular things during the game as well. So there's just so many different things on this player board that make it real interesting that you are trying to upgrade throughout the game. So you are basically just trying to manipulate and play with the whole puzzle of your player board to maximize different actions at different times to make them better when needed. So that's a really fun aspect of this game. The pick up and deliver, it's not going to be for everybody. I mean, if you do enjoy pick up and deliver, there is definitely a big swath of pick up and deliver in this game, but that whole puzzle of your player board is what really shines through in this game. At the beginning of the game, also, you are given these goal cards that you're trying to work towards these secret missions that nobody else knows about that give you X amount of victory points at the end of the game. And in the advanced game, you actually get to draft out which starting missions you have. So you can kind of hone in on an overall strategy for your different mission cards. Another thing that's really unique in this game, though, too, is by definition, the starting state of your player board says you can only score 1 out of your 4 starting mission cards unless you unlock additional missions. So you are not only toying with and messing with your basic actions to try to get your train to move better and pick up people better and deliver them better, but you're also trying to build out these different spots on your player board that allow you to score more points and score more of your mission cards. You can score anywhere from 1 to all 4 of those cards, depending on how well you do in that system on your player board. So that makes it really unique and fun as well. If you have 1 or 2 missions that are just kind of near impossible for you to get in that game, you don't have to go after those at all. Just make sure you get enough pieces on your player board to score 2, maybe 2 out of the missions, or 2 out of the 4 missions, and that might be good enough to win. So you're really trying to tailor and customize your board to play however efficiently you can for that specific play of the game, because each play of this game will be completely different. Another really neat aspect of this game is the laying of the track. There's an action that I haven't mentioned yet that you actually get to go and lay out railroad tracks around the board for for a sense of route building. So that's kind of a neat little puzzle all in itself on the player board as well. The couple of the things that you need to keep in mind when you are building out your set of track is that you can't ever overlap yourself or completely cover somebody else, but you can cross other people's tracks. So kind of the nature of it and the kind of the puzzle, trying to complete your unique route or your unique circuit around the board is really tricky because people are getting in your way or trying to block off different paths, and it creates a nice little fun puzzle with that as well. The pieces are really nice in this game. There are a few different colorblind problems in this game with how close like the copper and gold colors are and that sort of thing. And I know that's been mentioned a bunch on other videos, and I didn't really believe it myself until I actually got the copy of the game and laid it out. And yeah, those pieces are really, really close in color. So very hard to tell apart. But the track pieces are really cool. They're like these acrylic hexes that are see-through that have your color of track on it. So when you stack the track on top of other players' tracks, they overlap and they're see-through, so you can see the different tracks and the different ways they go, and you're not completely covering them up. So that see-through aspect of it is really cool. The components are pretty nice. The trains are nice heavy metal trains. The different tiles for the depots and the stations are really thick tiles. So the production overall is really nice. But there are just a few blemishes throughout the overall package itself too. So segueing right into my pros of the game, I've already kind of beaten this to death here, but the overall aspect of the puzzly nature, the strategic puzzle that you're trying to crack, both with the tracks around the board and your player board itself, with trying to deliver these different passengers and robots to stations to get them onto your player board, is just really neat. That whole puzzle it's very difficult every time. It changes with every gameplay, and it's just a fun one to try to crack every time. The different goal cards are very, they're variable, they're very unique. You'll get different goals each and every game, so that changes every game as well. And just kind of trying to complete as many goals and as many of those secret goals as you can, all in the while cracking the best efficiency puzzle you can with making your train company better than any of the other players' train companies. That whole process and that whole feel of the game feels very brain burnery. It's kind of a simple game to learn on the surface, but once you really dive into it, especially given the different opponents you have, if you've got some really strategic players that you're playing against, this game can really, really be a tough one to crack. So that is really fun in this game. Some of the other pros, like I talked about, the components are really nice, other than a couple minor things. But other than that, the overall presentation is very nice to look at. And by the end of the game, after you've built out the different tracks and the stations and having the passengers all over the place on the board, the overall presentation looks really nice on the table. So I did really appreciate that about the game as well. A couple of the cons, I can see that, the variable play in the different missions and, how each player plays a little bit differently every game. It is a unique experience, at least for the first few times or handful of times, but I could see this game getting a little bit samey, a little bit repetitive after multiple plays. Maybe 10, 15 different plays of the game. It might feel samey after a while, after you've seen all the missions, and if you're playing with the same group of people each and every week, the game could feel a little samey. So it could suffer from that. If this game doesn't see much love or doesn't see an expansion sometime soon, I don't know how often this one will hit the table. It needs something unique or something fresh, just to kind of revitalize the game already. And I've only played the game a few times. But again, that's just a con for me personally. I think a lot of people will find a lot of enjoyment out of this game, trying to crack the puzzle differently each and every play. So that is just a minor con that for me, I don't see the replayability being there for a long time without an expansion being added. But not to say that they don't have one in the works already. I don't know. But if they do, that would definitely help the longevity of this game staying on my game shelf for me personally. Getting into my overall rating, this rating right now, it's a solid rating that I'm about to talk about, with the caveat that the rating could drop over time, like I had said in my cons about the replayability factor kind of being, I don't know for certain, but it just seems like the replay value might not be quite there for me. But I'm still giving this game an 8 out of 10. So it's a solid 8 out of 10 for me still, with some of those minor component blunders and the replayability factor. Who knows where that's going to be? I'm still giving it that 8 out of 10. So a very, very solid game. Very deserving of being that high up on the rating scale for me for that strategic puzzle. I know I keep coming back to that puzzle word, but that strategy in the puzzle that you're cracking it's brain burnery, but it is a lot of fun to try to do. And if you do play with different players quite often, that puzzle will be different every time based on how your opponents are playing differently each time. If you have the same group coming to the table each time, it might get a little samey. But if you play with different players, it'll feel different every time based on what people decide to do. So it all just really depends. There's just a lot of caveats and a lot of different nuances to this game that could make it either better or worse over time. But for now, it's an 8 out of 10. Very solid. I'm keeping it in my collection for now, and we'll see how long it lasts. But there you have it. That is my review of Maglev Metro. You all have a great day.